You may not know, but there is a Dutch company responsible for manufacturing a key component in our current lives. Despite being relatively unknown, Advanced Semiconductor Materials Lithography (ASML) is a Dutch company that plays a crucial role in the global economy. But what does it actually produce? The short answer is that the company provides essential lithography systems for the semiconductor industry. However, the key point is that since this system is essential worldwide, it can be used politically and militarily to directly impact geopolitical issues around the world. In fact, it is already being used for this purpose. In today's video, you will learn more about ASML and how what they produce is a fundamental piece that makes the whole world dependent on something created by this company. Welcome to the Visionary Businesses channel, where we bring you the best videos on finance and technology. Please check your subscription now and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, make sure to enable notifications so you don't miss any updates. And if you're interested in the topic of this video, don't forget to give it a like. Without further ado, let's get into the video. What is ASML? As mentioned earlier, ASML is the leading company in the field of lithography equipment manufacturing for the semiconductor industry and is considered the most valuable company in Europe. But first things first. What are semiconductors? In simple terms, semiconductors are basically the raw material for chips used in electronic devices, ranging from circuit boards for household appliances to nanochips for smartphones and computers. And a lithography equipment is capable of customizing these semiconductors, literally printing electrical circuits that will be shaped in the necessary way for various electro-electronic applications. Returning to the subject, the history of ASML dates back to the early 1980s when the companies ASMI, Advanced Semiconductor Materials International, Philips, and MCA, Machines Construction Applications, founded a joint venture called ASM Lithography. Initially, ASM Lithography focused on developing lithography technologies for memory chip manufacturing. The company concentrated on the development of advanced optical systems that allowed the printing of increasingly smaller circuits on silicon chips. However, ASM Lithography faced significant challenges in competing with established companies in the market, such as Nikon and Canon. In 1984, ASM Lithography partnered with IBM to develop a new lithography technology called electron beam projection lithography, EPL. This technology had the potential to overcome the limitations of traditional optical lithography and enable the production of even smaller chips. However, EPL required significant technical developments and high investment. In 1986, ASM Lithography encountered financial difficulties and was on the verge of bankruptcy, at which point it was acquired by the investment holding company Delft Instruments. ASM Lithography received financial resources and support to continue its development efforts. In 1988, ASM Lithography launched its first lithography system, the PAS-2000, which used ultraviolet, UV, optical lithography technology for chip manufacturing. This system achieved commercial success and established ASM Lithography as a reliable provider of equipment using this new technology. In 1995, ASM Lithography introduced immersion lithography technology, which utilizes a liquid to enable the printing of even smaller features. This revolutionary technology became a significant milestone in the semiconductor industry. In 2001, ASM Lithography changed its name to ASML, reflecting its identity and focus as a leader in lithography technologies for semiconductors. The company continued to develop increasingly advanced systems capable of printing circuits at nanoscale levels. ASML has undergone a series of strategic acquisitions, strengthening its position in the market. In 2012, it acquired Cymer, a leader in laser technologies for lithography, to further enhance its solutions. The company has also invested in research and development to drive innovation and meet the growing demands of the semiconductor industry. Currently, ASML is widely recognized as one of the leading companies in the field, providing advanced lithography systems to chip manufacturers worldwide. Its technology plays a critical role in the manufacturing of microchips, or rather, increasingly smaller and more powerful nanochips, driving progress in the semiconductor industry and enabling advancements in various areas. Market dominance. ASML has developed and leads in the supply of advanced ultraviolet, UV, lithography systems for the semiconductor industry. These systems use ultraviolet light sources to imprint complex patterns on silicon chips during the manufacturing process. ASML's ultraviolet lithography system is significant because it enables the manufacturing of chips with increasingly smaller sizes. Since lithography is responsible for printing the patterns on chips, achieving higher resolution allows more transistors to be placed on a single chip, resulting in more powerful devices with greater processing capacity and increasingly smaller sizes. ASML has developed various generations of ultraviolet lithography systems, such as deep ultraviolet (DUV), which utilizes ultraviolet light with wavelengths around 193 nanometers, and extreme ultraviolet (EUV), which employs extreme ultraviolet light with wavelengths of approximately 13.5 nanometers. The EUV lithography system is particularly important as it allows the manufacturing of chips with features on the scale of 7 nanometers and even smaller. What makes it even more significant is that only ASML can provide a machine capable of producing nanochips of this nature. This means that the company has dominance over technology giants that need to utilize these components in their devices. Currently, several leading brands in the semiconductor industry use ASML's ultraviolet lithography systems in their manufacturing processes. Such is the case with Intel, which utilizes ASML's lithography systems to manufacture its latest generation processors, enabling the production of chips with high transistor density. Samsung, as one of the largest memory chip manufacturers, also utilizes ASML's ultraviolet lithography systems to manufacture its NAND flash and DRAM memory chips. TSMC utilizes ASML's lithography systems to manufacture high-quality chips for various brands, including Apple, AMD, Qualcomm, and Nvidia. All these reputable companies in the technology market necessarily rely on ASML's technology, which essentially gives ASML control over the market. And here arises a major problem: the geopolitical issue. The advanced technology developed by ASML, particularly the EUV lithography system, gives the company a significant advantage in terms of high-density chip production capability. This is reflected in the fact that many leading brands in the semiconductor industry depend on ASML's systems to manufacture their most advanced chips. In the geopolitical context, dependence on a dominant supplier can raise concerns regarding the security and technological sovereignty of a country or region. For instance, if a company or country has significant control over lithography technology, it could exert influence over chip production, restrict access to that technology, or use it as a tool in commercial or geopolitical disputes. In this regard, ASML's technological dominance in advanced lithography systems may have implications for the balance of geopolitical power. Countries and companies heavily reliant on ASML's systems may be subject to potential restrictions or vulnerabilities in their semiconductor supply chains. Considering this, the United States has taken serious precautions to prevent the company from selling its technology to any country, or rather, to China. During the tenure of former U.S. President Donald Trump, a series of actions were taken regarding trade restrictions between the US and China. One of the measures implemented was the prohibition of selling technology and equipment to Chinese companies, including ASML, which is a key supplier in the semiconductor industry. In 2020, the US government added ASML to the so-called Entity List, maintained by the US Department of Commerce. This list restricts the sale of US technology and products to specific companies, citing concerns over national security or human rights violations. ASML's inclusion in the Entity List was primarily motivated by the trade tensions between the US and China, as well as concerns about the transfer of sensitive technology. But why do the United States have so much power over a foreign company? Well, despite ASML being a Dutch company, many of its products contain technology developed in the US, and the country is also crucial in the manufacturing and distribution of its lithography machines. As a result, being included in the list restricted the export of key equipment to China, an important market in the semiconductor industry. This prohibition directly impacted China's plans to develop a more independent semiconductor industry, as many Chinese companies relied on ASML's advanced lithography systems to produce high-quality chips. The prohibition also raised concerns about the possibility of a trade war between the US and China, with significant implications for the global technology sector. In response to this prohibition, China then decided to explore an alternative path that would allow the country to access lithography equipment, enabling it to achieve independence in chip manufacturing rather than relying on purchases from other American companies. TSMC. Taiwan is a significant semiconductor production center and is home to Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC, one of the largest chip manufacturers globally, which has access to ASML's equipment. China considers Taiwan as part of its territory and seeks reunification under the principle of One China. However, Taiwan is an autonomous democracy with its own government and independent institutions. China has expressed interest in controlling Taiwan and its industries, including TSMC, due to its strategic importance in the semiconductor sector. TSMC plays a crucial role in the global semiconductor supply chain by providing advanced chips to companies worldwide. If China were able to exert control over Taiwan and, consequently, TSMC, it would gain access to chip manufacturing technology and achieve the autonomy it desires in the development of cutting-edge technologies. Lithography equipment, such as those provided by ASML, is a vital part of chip manufacturing and has a direct impact on production capacity and the performance of electronic components. Gaining control over TSMC and, consequently, the lithography equipment would allow China to strengthen its position in the semiconductor industry and reduce its dependence on foreign suppliers. This situation raises concerns in various countries, especially in the United States and other trading partners of TSMC. They fear that if China takes control of TSMC and the lithography equipment, there could be a transfer of sensitive technology and a disruption in the global supply of semiconductors. Therefore, the possibility of annexing Taiwan to gain control over TSMC and lithography equipment is a delicate and complex geopolitical issue with significant implications for the industry as a whole and for the relationships between the countries involved. The story is quite complex and explains some of the events happening in the world, such as China's eagerness to annex Taiwan, but it also shows that the United States is engaged in an economic battle of immense proportions with the Asian giant. The monopoly exercised by ASML in the market for ultraviolet lithography equipment and the importance of this technology for the production of high-quality chips put the company in a position of significant power and influence. This can affect the trade and political relations of various nations as they seek to ensure their continued access to these essential technologies in today's world. The challenge now is to find a balance between healthy competition, national security, and international cooperation to ensure the stability and ongoing development of the semiconductor industry. Efforts should be made to promote production diversification and strengthen collaboration between countries to ensure broad access to key technologies, as well as security and sustainable innovation in the sector. Perhaps countries should not seek dominance over technology through sanctions and impositions, but rather work together for the development of increasingly advanced and accessible technologies that improve the lives of all. But what about you? What do you think of this whole situation? Do you believe that the United States acted correctly in preventing China from accessing essential equipment for microchip manufacturing? Or do you believe that all countries should have access to these technologies? Please share your opinion in the comments. Also, let me know if you are aware that there is a company that literally has a product that the entire world depends on. I'm very curious to hear your response. Thank you very much for watching so far. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and also enable notifications so you don't miss any new videos here on Visionary Businesses. Sending you a big hug, and see you in the next video.